Hi everyone, welcome to Difference Frames the World, an independent channel where you can see the world differently. Today we discuss the impact of Donald Trump's victory on the relationship between China and the United States. We uploaded a video on November 5, 2024, in which we predicted his victory over Kamala Harris 5 hours before Donald Trump announced his victory to his supporters in Florida that night. In that video, we also discussed the influence of his victory on the relationship between China, Russia, and the US. Some writers disagreed with us, saying Russia is China's friend forever, and will not side with the US. We respect their opinions, although we maintain our judgment that Russia, China, and the US are like three kingdoms in ancient China 1800 years ago. Interests decide their relations, not friendship. China is unhappy with Trump's victory, but a spokesperson for the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs says that China respects the choice of the American people and congratulates Trump on his triumph. Donald Trump never hides his hostility toward China, and his first 4 years in office gave China enough headaches, like the trade war and tech war. His new term will be turbulent, and international politics, economy, finance, military, and other aspects will encounter new difficulties and challenges. As a businessman who has filed enough bankruptcies, and a fresh politician with no experience in any level of government, Trump acted like a school bully during his first term. Trump is a businessman, managing the country like running a business. His America First policy will alienate the US from its allies, and as a result, Europe will suffer, especially Germany. After Donald Trump and Kamala Harris confirmed the victory of the Republicans in the election, global media and netizens have commented one after another on many topics, among which relations between China and the United States are the hottest. Many are pessimistic that Trump will launch another trade war and suppress Chinese companies to the extreme. During the election, Trump was harsh on China, threatening to impose a 60% tariff on all Chinese imports. The imposition of tariffs will not happen in a day, although he will most likely continue to be tough on China. His America First policy will bring more uncontrollable variables to the relationship between the two nations. Some netizens are worried that Trump will continue to pressure China in trade, military, and technology. A new round of tech war is inevitable. As usual, he will use Elon Musk's X platform, previously named Twitter, to attack and slander China in various ways. However, some people are optimistic about the relations between Beijing and Washington, although they believe Trump may take a tougher stance. China has known Donald Trump's trick-or-treat tactics, and Halloween is over. Moreover, China does not rely on the US as much as the US needs China. Even if the US coerces its allies to turn against Beijing, China's development will not stop. Instead, the country will focus more on its domestic market, boosting its consumption for sustainable growth. Moreover, China will benefit from an enlarged BRICS community, promoting its RMB internationalization and reducing its dependence on the US dollar and the euro, in addition to its Belt and Road Initiative cooperations with over 150 countries worldwide. It is worth mentioning that Elon Musk can become a bridge between China and the United States. He is a pro-China figure because of his extensive interests in China. Tesla should have filed for bankruptcy years ago without the mega plant in China's Shanghai. Elon Musk has a lot of interactions with the Chinese government, so he knows the importance of cooperation and the danger of confrontation between the two superpowers. Also, Donald Trump will not run for the third term in 2028, even though he joked about doing that, as the 22nd Amendment forbids any person from successfully running for 2 presidencies, whether consecutive or non-consecutive. As a result, he does not have to please his voters by exaggeratedly attacking and slandering China, as he did in the past years. The relationship between China and the United States has been at its lowest point under Biden's presidency, like that between the former Soviet Union and the US during the Cold War, so there is little room for Donald Trump to make it even worse. China claims to be the largest developing country in the world, and the United States believes it is the largest developed country, although Donald Trump says China is more advanced than the US. Undoubtedly, the relationship between China and the United States is the most important bilateral relationship in the 21st century, significantly impacting the world. As China's comprehensive national strength continues to improve, China and the United States cannot defeat each other. Although China has become a superpower comparable to the US on most fronts, it does not want to change the existing international order. At least, it does not interfere in the internal affairs of the United States by helping Hawaii or Texas to seek independence, and it has no intention to challenge or replace the United States. China is not a threat to the US. China has contributed more to the global GDP growth than all Western nations combined. Without China's market and all-inclusive manufacturing solutions, the recovery of the world economy, including that of the United States, is impossible. In the first 3 quarters of 2024, China's GDP grew by 4.8%, topping the world's major economies. China's recovery is vital to sustained global growth and will bring more opportunities to the world, including the United States. Donald Trump's America First policy would not succeed if China failed. Like a couple quarreling day and night, China and the US need each other economically. Trump constantly brags about himself being a president who has never launched a war, and the chance of his having a military conflict with China is meager. A top official in the Pentagon admitted that the US could not intercept China's hypersonic missiles after China's rocket force successfully launched an intercontinental ballistic missile into the high seas of the Pacific Ocean at the end of September 2024. 10 days ago, China conducted a dual-carrier formation exercise for the first time in the South China Sea, which shows China's resolve to defend its interests at its doorstep. China has gained the upper hand in the West Pacific, and the US cannot beat it there. If Beijing wants to recover Taiwan by force, no other country can stop it. Trump has explicitly expressed his opinion regarding Taiwan, telling Beijing that the US will not send its troops to the island when a reunification war breaks out. If Washington and Beijing do not go to war over Taiwan, the relationship between the two countries cannot get worse than under Biden's leadership. Joe Biden, who almost fell asleep during his presidential debate with Donald Trump, is dubbed the dementia president by some netizens. Still, he vows many times to defend Taiwan even if he frequently trips and falls. Donald Trump does not openly declare he will abandon Taiwan, but he never hides his disdain for the island. He is a businessman, but Taiwan is not his business. From this perspective, the relationship between China and the US will not be worse than under Biden's presidency. Still, China needs to prepare itself for the worst. In the video uploaded on November 5, 2024, we predicted Trump's victory, and we also expressed our concern about the future of China and Russia, saying Trump might alienate Moscow from Beijing, with which some viewers disagree. They argue that China and Russia will always be good friends. However, there are no eternal friends or enemies, only eternal interests. 10 years ago, the relations between Russia and China were not as good as today. President Putin even dreamed of becoming a Western nation, or a member of NATO when George Bush Jr. was still his best friend. Donald Trump may not fool Putin around like former US President Bush, but he will not allow the relations between Moscow and Beijing to become more intimate. Even if he cannot convince Putin to oppose Beijing after ending the Ukraine war, he will try to break the friendship between Putin and Xi Jinping. There will be an intensive propaganda war to separate Russia and China, and the West will make the Russians anxious about China taking back the lands ceded by the Qing dynasty to Russia in the past 200 years. The relationship between Russia and China will not be as solid as today when America's strength is insufficient to exert enough pressure on Beijing and Moscow. Suppose Donald Trump does Putin a favor by forcing Ukraine to give up land for peace, and ends the Ukraine war in 24 hours as he promised. In that case, Russia would not be as desperate to get Beijing's support as it was. Russia may continue to be China's friend, but not as intimate or close as it used to. Putin is Russian, not Chinese, and Russia's relationship with China reflects Russia's interests, not China's. Putin may seek a balance between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping to get the best for Russia. Likewise, Donald Trump will get the best out of China for the United States, whether he needs or hates China. In short, there will be little influence on China after Trump steps into office again in January 2025, as he has run out of cards dealing with the Chinese. As an old saying goes, barking dogs never bite. Donald Trump barks louder than Joe Biden, but for China, they are the birds of the same feather. Thanks for watching our videos, and please subscribe to our channel if you have not done that so you will not miss our uploads every day. Like, forward and share our videos with your friends, helping DFTW become a club with 1 million subscribers shortly. Thanks again.